Now, let's talk about the hard work of starting a garden. On many occasions in my life, I have just dug by hand. When I moved to Colorado, I was an assistant professor at the University of Colorado. I lived in an inner ring suburb and put in a garden, dug the whole dang thing by hand, dug up the entire back lawn by hand, and put in a water efficient, low water grass. But there are other ways to do this, I have learned. As you get older, you do gain a little bit of wisdom. And so there are other ways besides hand shoveling or even using the rototiller. And this is a technique that I learned about years ago, and I've only practiced it once. And it's a no-till startup. And this was our property in Missouri when we moved in. This was our front lawn. This is maybe 2/3 of our front lawn. There's still more. And the previous owner mowed every square inch of this. And now that front lawn is mostly cattle pasture. We raise grass-fed beef, which we sell at farmers markets and through grocery stores. And this whole front part has been converted to a garden. So we have, instead of a 4 or 5 hour mowing job, we maybe have 40 minutes of mowing. And I'm working on getting that down even as we talk. So what we did is, first I went out to this area and I dug down to see what kind of topsoil we had. We had good 8 to 10 inches of very, very rich topsoil. Underneath that, pure clay. A little bit of silt in it, but pure clay. So the last thing that I wanted to do was go in there with a rototiller or have a neighbor come in with a plow and plow that up and turn all that clay into the topsoil. Okay? Because that starts to kill the topsoil. When you expose topsoil to air, you begin the decomposition of that organic matter that is so important to the health of the soil. It oxidizes in air, and you begin the gradual deterioration of that really important organic matter. So what we did is we had installed a solar system, and we had all these boxes left over that the solar modules came in, so we laid them on the grass, and we live really close to a hog farm, and this gal has 200 pot-bellied pigs that she rescued from all those people that say, oh, I want a pot-bellied pig, they're so cute, and then 8 months later it's like, oh my God, what did we do? So she rescued them, and bless her sweet heart, she just kept them there, and boy, she had a lot of really well-aged pig manure. I had to search for the right name because where we are, we call it something different, a little shorter, So that's what I like about Missouri. There's just manure everywhere. There's just manure everywhere. So, and I'm sure Kansas is the same way. And it seems like a lot of it is focused at the state legislature, the state capitol. I don't know how that is. Okay, that's just a little political aside. So we lay the cardboard down. The cardboard's job is to kill the grass. To kill the grass with a covering, to kill the weeds, to kill the grass. And it does it pretty quickly. Now the roots are going to decompose over time and add more organic to the soil. So this is a real simple technique. This is just the very beginning. We laid the cardboard down. I just laid one layer down. Sometimes the boxes were folded over, so I laid them down like that. So there were really 2 layers of cardboard. Now the idea behind this is to start early in the season, because what you want to happen is that you want to cover that with either straw or well composted, well aged manure, or you can buy these bags of manure / compost from Lowe's and Home Depot, little, I don't know, 50-pound bags, I don't know what they weigh, but 40-pound bags maybe. And you could use that kind of stuff. You spread that over the top, and then what you want to have happen is you want a couple months of rain and moisture to cause that cardboard to decompose. Okay? And once it does, then you're ready to start planting. So when time comes to plant, you simply push the manure out of the way, put your seedlings in, or plant seeds in that topsoil with minimal disturbance of the topsoil. So we were pretty creative. We had some cattle brought to our farm. My brother brought some cattle, so we cleaned the cattle trailer onto our future garden. Any kind of waste material that we had, straw bedding from any animals, went on top of that. And we basically created, over time, over a fairly short period of time, a very small garden. A very small garden. And you can see what I've done here is I've actually put some straw on the top of that, and I've planted directly into the topsoil. Now, don't plant into the cover material. Don't plant into your compost. You can, things will grow, but it dries out so fast. It's really rich, organic, porous stuff. And you can plant seeds in there, you can plant seedlings in there, but it tends to dry out really, really quickly. So you want to be underneath that cardboard into the topsoil. If your cardboard hasn't decomposed, you can do, like in this case, we put this in kind of late. So our cardboard wasn't fully decomposed, so I just took a sharp trowel and cut a hole in it and planted a hole in that, cut a hole in that cardboard and planted it in there. So you can still do it. Another option for these are feed bags. Our local feed supplier is MFA, and they sell all their feed in pretty much brown paper bags, not a whole lot of printing on them. You don't want to use a very colorful bag that has a lot of colored ink in it. Feed bags work really, really well as well. You can lay them on the ground, and then just paper feed bags, not the plastic kind. Paper feed bags work really well in as far as killing off that grass and starting the garden. Now here's the garden early on. It looks a little ratty. All gardens do at the very beginning. Gardens are funny, aren't they? You put them in, and then they get to this point where they're still just like a little scraggly, a little scrawny, but they fill out pretty quickly. They start looking better and better, and next thing you know, you've got this. Got an amazing garden. This is the first year of that garden. And everything did really well but the corn. I don't know why. You see the corn, pretty sad looking corn. And then what few kernels, what few heads of corn we got there, the raccoons decided they wanted it, so they got it. So anyway, but it was a very productive year for us, and the garden continues to produce, and continues to produce zucchinis and the sweet, the cucumbers, peppers, all kinds of neat vegetables that help sustain our family. All right, so it's a real simple way to do it. Get going soon. If you start a little later and that cardboard doesn't break down, you can sprinkle it from time to time. Wet it down so that moisture will start the decomposition process. All right. Now, so that's one way to turn a side lawn or a front lawn or a back lawn into a garden. That's one simple way. There are other ways as well.
To learn more, pick up a copy of Dan Cheris's books, Survive in Style, Living Comfortably Off-Grid, The Scoop on Poop, and Chinese Greenhouse at evergreeninstitute.org.